Good morning, Open Heart. It is good to be here with you. Good to be at this heart stream. And what comes from my heart to your heart is the love of Christ divine. And so let us get this message started. Our June theme is God's business, and my talk title today is It's All Good. And our talk text comes from Luke 24:49. And he said to them, he being Master Teacher Jesus, "Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business?" Now, this is the story of Jesus in the temple. And so Mary and Joseph, or Jesus' family, went up to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover. And then on their way back, they were with a group of people. Mary and Joseph didn't see Jesus. And I guess, he's probably with some fam. And then when they didn't see him that second day, they're like, hold up. Started asking folks. Didn't see him, wasn't there, had to head back to Jerusalem and spend 3 days looking everywhere. And they finally went to the temple, and lo and behold, there is Master Teacher Jesus sitting with all the scholars going over the Bible and probably the Midrash and a whole bunch of other things. And Mary's like, dude, why did you do this to us? And Jesus is like, I had to be about my Father's business. Now, I can totally relate to where Mary was. Probably like, boy, we've been looking for you for 3 days. And I understand the frustration when Lily was very little. Her and my niece, we were in the shopping with my mom in a clothing store. And somehow we didn't know where Raven was. That's my niece. And so just by taking a quick look around, I turned around and then didn't know where Lily was, but she had been standing right by me. So now I'm scouring the store. My heart is beating so fast. Someone has kidnapped her, and I'm just imagining all these horrible things. I'm like, be strong, Lily, and fight back, and let that Smith womanhood come through you, and just, I go out into the aisle of the mall, which is, 2 sides, 2 stories, and I yell out, Lily, to only hear her sweet little voice, yes, Mom. I said, come back, come to me, where are you? So here she comes walking, and she's like, oh, I thought Raven left the store, so I was going to go find her. So I embraced her. I was so glad. Now, of course, I wanted to kill her because she had aged me 1,000 years while I was in there worrying and wondering. So I can understand. But Master Teacher Jesus gives a big lesson that maybe Mary and Joseph should have went to the temple first, right? But being about the business of what Master Teacher Jesus was here for, and our theme being God's business. So the question is, what is God's business, right? We're supposed to be about our Mother, Father, God's business. What is the business? So I have a proposition to make, and so let's journey back to the initial narrative that introduces us to God, so we can glean our first impression, because you only get one chance to make a first impression of what is God's business. So come back with me to Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and that the light was good. Where there is mess, chaos, lack of clarity, and confusion, it is the business of God to call in light. Light illuminates, like let's throw some light on the subject. Light is a shift of energy, like lightning, right? Or when you turn on the light in a dark room, the energy is shifted. And light can represent new ideas and new ways of thinking. In the cartoon, the light comes on above Bugs Bunny's head. He's just got a new idea. The business of God is being a beneficial and transformative presence in our own lives, in the lives of our family, in the lives of our community, and in this world. We are to be the light. And it is to be our business to transmute and transform challenges in our life, challenges in the lives of those around us, situations in a hot mess, to bring the light, to bring that energy, to bring that new way of thinking, to break that stagnation, to bring clarity. And then in that situation, call it all good. It's all good. All right, let's go back to Genesis 1. Then God said, let the land sprout with vegetation and every sort of seed-bearing plant and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. These seeds will then produce the kinds of plants and trees from which they came. And that is what happened. The land produced vegetation, all sorts of seed-bearing plants and trees with seed-bearing fruit. Their seeds produced plants and trees of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. What is it to be about God's business? God's business is about creating, giving fruit, growing, multiplying, evolving. And that's what we're supposed to do. But we're supposed to do that based on who we are, how we be. Not on what other people expect of us or what we should be doing or what I want to please this person or that person. I can only be me and you can only be you. Now, this is not an excuse to stay small or stagnant. This is an affirmation that we can grow, evolve, and transform from a place of being, from a place of love, and empowering ourselves. When we live our lives from this place of producing after how and who and how and what we are, it's all good. Back to Genesis 1. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God rested from the work of the creating that God had done. God's business also includes sacred rest. We need to chill out. Downtime is so important, and it's also very un-American. In other countries, they have siesta time and tea time. And this is the time to rest, recharge, and return to the situation or work renewed, refreshed. America leads the world in strokes, heart attacks, and stress-related disorders. I wonder why. The business of the world and the business of the U.S. is go, do, go, do this. The business of the divine is sacred rest, to take a step back, to slow down, and to chill. And this isn't a less, I'm a Virgo, okay? I'm an earth sign. I want to go, do, plan, get stuff done, be ahead of the game, give 150%. That's also how I was raised by my family. Don't show up at 100%, show up at 150%. But my wife will yank my chain, Lily too. I was feeling run down and couldn't figure out what was going on. I got my vitamins and my CMOS and my probiotics and I'm eating lower carb. So I'm like, hey, what is going on? Gail said, you're doing too much. I thought, well, I like my medical insurance and the money that I get from work, so I'm going to continue going there. But I thought, let me reach out to John, talk to him about how I'm feeling, and see if, for a few months, that I would only do the prayer call on Sunday. That would give me Saturday as a day to sleep in, to lollygag, to not have to rush out of the bed and be prepared to do something. And in his graciousness, he was receptive to that. And even though I've only done it for a couple weeks, it feels so good. Resting, relaxing, lollygagging. What a blessing. The invitation, though, is to bring our spirit to a higher place. Y'all know this verse, Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. It's in the stillness. It's in that slowness. It's in that taking that time that we are able to know. But this word, in its original language, isn't the Western world for I got it in my mind. This is the word for experience. That in the stillness, we are able to come and touch the heart of the divine, to be enveloped in that sacred place, the secret and sacred place of the Most High. And in that space, we are transformed. We are able to rest, reconnect to our true selves, and be reborn. It is a time to know our true selves. And from that connection to our divinity, deadlines don't mean the same. Trying to please other folks don't mean the same. Trying to, be the American motto on the magazine of I'm living my best life. I got all these things and I do all these things. And look, I want things and I want to do. But the sacred self, the divine self knows there is a wisdom. It is the business of God to take a step back and to slow down, to spend time in the presence of God. And in that place, we can release what no longer serves us, release our ailments, release our narratives, come into the divine knowing of who we are. And in that place, it's all good. The business of the goddess is to bring light where there is darkness, confusion, and doubt, to represent the divine by flourishing in all ways, flourishing, growing, evolving, transmuting, and transforming in all the ways that fits best who we are and who we are becoming. And then to rest, to take time to connect with the Sophia Christ consciousness within by intentional, sacred rest and relaxation. The good news is that God's business is always hiring. Are you and I ready to represent the firm? Namaste, blessings, much, much love from Gail, Lily, and the campus, the Atoka campus of Open Heart Spiritual Center.